Welcome to the Nikki Clarke Show. I am your host, Nikki Clarke, and I am so excited to be back with yet another stellar interview. The show is about transforming lives one story at a time, and we have been doing this for 17 years, meeting people from all walks of life, sharing their heart stories, their stories of transformation. And I am so honored to have an incredible woman with us today, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. I would love to introduce the extraordinary Ambassador Dr. Randi Ward. She's a retired educator, international speaker, 19-time best-selling author, master editor, certified life and emotional intelligence coach, and visionary humanitarian whose impact spans over 63 countries across 4 continents. She is the owner of RM Infinite, One Stop Possibilities, editor and contributor to multiple magazines, a global goodwill ambassador, a chaplain, African animal advocate, and a recipient of 148 awards and honors, including 4 honorary doctorates, the U.S. Presidential Lifetime Service Award, and appearances on billboards in New York City, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. And she's known for her powerful message, don't dream big, dream bigger. Ambassador Dr. Randi Ward lives a life of service, resilience, faith, and global purpose. And her journey is a masterclass in legacy, leadership, and limitless vision. Please help me welcome Ambassador Dr. Randi Ward to the Nikki Clarke Show. Welcome.
You just embarrassed me with all. I kept thinking, who is that lady? Thank you so much for this amazing introduction. Wow.
My pleasure.
I'm overwhelmed already.
Well deserved. I am just so honored to have you with us. And, reviewing your bio, there are a lot of commonalities that we have. So maybe, later on we can have another chat about all the great kind of synergies. But let's get to know you a little bit better. So let's talk about your calling, your purpose, and your legacy. And I love this quote, don't dream big, dream bigger. And that has inspired so many people. Now, what does that philosophy mean to you today after such an accomplished global journey?
Okay. Well, as a young, shy girl, believe it or not, I used to be very shy. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, and I always wanted more than my community had to offer me. I wanted to see the world, help people in special ways and have this great, successful, wonderful, happy family, career life, and all that. Actually, my entire life philosophy, copyrighted quote is believe in yourself. Don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is not the limit, so reach for the stars and beyond. But I always tell people to dream bigger. And anybody that knows me for a long time, anytime I tell them something, I'm dreaming bigger, Randi. So I love that. This philosophy originated from my high school career. I was valedictorian in my class, and even though I was shy and so unsure of myself, I had to write my valedictorian speech, and I actually wrote this philosophy, even though I wasn't feeling like I was living it at the time, but this was my dream to live this philosophy. So it was part of my speech when I was giving my valedictorian speech in June 1967. Think about that. And I've lived my whole life trying to fulfill this dream. And every time I get a little discouraged or a little upset about something, okay, remember, believe in yourself. Don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is not the limit, so reach for the stars and beyond. And then I'm refocused and ready to move forward.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So looking back, when did you first realize your life would be centered around service, leadership, and global impact?
Well, I guess because I was a teacher, I really wanted to be a movie star, actress, singer, dancer, but I had a horrible knee injury, which kept me from walking for years. I'll talk about that a little bit later, probably. But so everybody in my family were educators. And so I thought, I want to be a music teacher, but that didn't work out. So I decided to be a language arts teacher, English teacher. And so from the age of 22, I have been a lifetime educator. I've always served people through educating them, young people, older people. It's just my passion to help people with whatever they can. And I like to be an advisor. I like to advise them. I've got all these young people around the world that are so unfocused and they don't know what they want to do. And they come to me and say, Randi, I need your advice. And I only give advice when they ask for it because, they need to find their own passion. But if they ask me, I will advise them and try to help them. I've helped people get scholarships to the United States. I've helped them get scholarships to other countries because they come so depressed and so upset. And I'm thinking, they keep saying, I'm a loser. I said, well, yeah, I guess you are. And they said, you just called me loser. No, you called yourself a loser. You can be a winner, but you have to be positive about that. If you think you're a loser, you're going to be a loser, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to change that mindset because that is a mindset that a lot of young people have today. It's really sad.
Yes, I see it too. I see it. So let's talk about, your global education. You've taught in the US and Egypt, traveled to 63 countries. How has global education shaped your worldview and approach to humanity?
Wow. Well, I one of the traveling is one of my passions, but when I travel, I don't want to, I mean, sometimes I have to go on tours, depending on the country, but I like to go on my own and just kind of explore things and see as much of the city as I can. But then I like to ask the locals, what is the best restaurant to go to, or where should I go that tourists don't go? I like to see their countries through their eyes. And I have, as I said, I have 5,000 Facebook friends in 63 countries. I know that's crazy. I have 8,700 followers right now. So I try to connect with these friends and learn about their culture. And we decide right from the very beginning that even if we have language barriers or religious barriers or things that are different in our culture, that we are one, that we're going to unite as friends. We're going to learn from each other and we're going to respect each other's differences and keep open minds. We do not discuss religion, though. We do not discuss politics because that can be a problem area sometimes. We just talk about our families and our friends and our goals. And when you do that, this global world becomes very small and you can interact with the most amazing people, which I've been so blessed to do. So my global vision is we all are the same. We all have the same needs to be happy, keep ourselves healthy, and we just need to respect each other and learn to live as one. And then you can have these amazing relationships, which I'm so blessed to have.
Absolutely. You're a 19-time best-selling author featured in 49 anthologies. Congratulations. What stories or themes keep calling you to write?
Well, those anthologies are mainly when you write something about yourself, your bio or your views on something. But, and those are kind of given topics that you have to do. But in my four personal books, I have a memoir. I lived in Egypt as an English teacher during the revolution, by the way, at
Wow.
3 blocks from the Tahrir Square in 2011, 2012, and listened to people die. So when I came home, God kept me safe. But when I came home, I decided to tell my story of the people fighting for their democracy and me being an English teacher living in a revolution. So this is this book because I believed in me. My Egyptian fantasy came true. I don't know if you can see it or not very well. There it is. Um, so that book is my life story. It's a memoir. But then I have two novels that I wrote. This is my first novel. I know it's hard to see because I've got a background. Anyway, it's called Random Wanderings. And
Hmm.
believe it or not, Nikki, I wrote this book when I had a horrible car accident that I almost died. I
Oh
had
my.
8 broken bones, a collapsed lung, a lacerated splint. I had to wear a neck brace for 93 days. I have a plate in this arm. And instead of giving up 1 year of my life because I was in physical therapy for 8 months, I wrote Random Wanderings and it became my savior. When I traveled to the 7 countries and 4 continents in the book, um, it kept me from it kept my imagination going so that I didn't feel my pain. So I could have lost a
Mhm.
whole year of my life, but I wrote a book. So
You
that
wrote a
book
book.
is to inspire people about not giving up. It also has animals in it. And then my next novel, which is the sequel to that, is Wondering No More. And it was
Hmm.
actually takes place in the Masai Mara, Kenya. And I actually we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I got to launch that book in Kenya in July. And I wrote and also published my first children's book, Hoppy the Misfit Bunny, about a bunny whose ears stand up straight until he gets upset. And when he gets upset, they flop around his ears and people bully him. So it's a story about bullying and how to overcome that. And because of these ears, he becomes a hero. So the theme of that is just because you're different doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It can be a blessing to you. You can become a hero
Absolutely.
to somebody. So there's a little bit
Right.
about that. So my themes are always about overcoming obstacles because I've overcome so many in my life, but I always have happy endings. I'm a Hallmark Channel person. That should tell you a lot about me, right? I love movies that I've watched a million times. I know how they're going to end, but when they end, I'm happy. There's no violence, there's no crimes. It's just pure love. And that's what I try to inspire in my books. We all go through conflicts, we all have problems, but we need to find ways to resolve them and have happy endings. And every one of my books could be read by any age, young and old, because I'm very high moral standards, and I don't write anything that would be objectionable to anybody. Okay, because I want the world to read them. I want to inspire people and teach them, and that's Teacher Randi again.
Teacher Randi. I love that. Well, I'm a former educator, so I'm Teacher Nikki. I get it. I get the
Yes.
shorthand for sure. Where can people purchase the books?
Well, okay. The Egyptian book is on Amazon, but my husband and I have our own publishing company, RM Infinite One Stop Possibilities, which you mentioned earlier. So we haven't put them on Amazon yet because we're still creating our own business. I mean, it's a work in progress, and we're going to be sellers on Amazon. So I don't want to have Amazon have my books. So the only way you can get them right now is directly through me, but you can, but I have like hundreds of books in my living room right now that hopefully we're going to move into our new office soon. So, but yeah, you can get them from me or Amazon for the Egyptian book.
Okay. Any upcoming book signing events?
Yes, in February, I'm in Lawrenceville, Georgia, my local community. I'm going to be in a bookstore there and do a book signing. Yes, we've scheduled that. Yes. And then I'm working on trying to get something at Barnes and Noble. Not sure if that's possible, but hey, dream bigger and believe you can do anything, right?
You got
That's
it.
what I do.
I'm going to be, that's going to be my mantra.
Yes.
When moving forward. I love that. So
Yes.
let's talk about faith and healing and your coaching. You are certified in Harmony Life Coaching, holistic emotional intelligence, NLP, and communication mastery. Now, how do these disciplines intersect with faith and healing?
Okay, well, okay. Be honest with you. When my first husband died on December 15th, 2019, and then you know what happened in 2020. The world shut down with COVID. Okay. Well, I was so devastated, and I took these courses just for the fun of it because I was
Mm,
so depressed. And I thought, you can't sit here and cry all the time because I've been married for 48 years to this wonderful man. So I took these courses, and then I thought, there are so many coaches out there, and I respect all of them, but I don't want to be just a coach. I'm an English teacher, so I wanted to use my coaching to be a book writing coach. But because of all the experiences and the lessons I learned in these classes, I learned that uh, as a teacher, we talk a lot, you know that, but I learned that we have to also be very good listeners. So it
yes.
helped me to be a very good listener to people when they were wanting to write their books, listen to them, close my mouth a lot more, and let them tell me what they want to write, and then connect with them. So spiritually, it changed a lot, a big part of me. I went from being the spokesperson to, as I said, the healing listener because a lot of these people, when they do their books, they don't know how to write their books, but they have this amazing story to tell. And sometimes it's a tragic story, but they need to get it out. So
Mhm.
when I'm working them with as a coach, I I can be their little platform to let all their emotions out. And then they say, I want to tell my story, but I don't know how. Then Coach
Mhm.
Randi kicks in and I say, okay, this is what I see. This is what we're going to do. This is your homework assignment, Teacher Randi. I want you to write about this, organize it this way, and then get back with me. And so spiritually, um, I think I help people with problems that they've had. Again, I'm a servant, in so many ways as a teacher and now as a coach helping people tell their stories. And I love it. I just keep
Mhm.
reinventing myself, Nikki. I keep
Yes.
finding new talents that God has given me and use them to help people. That's what I love to do.
That's wonderful. So, what do you believe is the greatest emotional barrier holding people back from purpose
Oh,
today?
All right. Well, since COVID, I think our young people are suffering a lot more. The mental illness I see, and particularly in the young people, because they just couldn't handle COVID at all. Um, but I think a lot of it too is they're not getting the attention that they need from their parents. And I don't mean this any disrespect, because of COVID, our economy is so troubled worldwide now too, that the parents are spending so much time just trying to make a living to support their family, feed them and all this, that they're not giving them the the attention they need at home. So
Yeah.
these young people are going to AI and the internet and movies that they shouldn't be watching, you know, and it's messing with their minds. I see so much. I mean, the suicide rate. I know in Atlanta, when we have crimes now carrying guns, guess who's carrying them? The young people. Somehow
Mhm.
they're getting guns and they're killing each other. This disturbs me very much. So I think we need to find better outlets, community outlets to help these people. If the parents are too busy at home to be with them, and I understand that, then after school programs, more after school programs where mentors and role models, where they are off the streets, they're not thinking about fighting and crime and stealing and all this other stuff that's been going on. They have outlets where they have people that can help them, keep them occupied, and help them with these mental problems, people they can talk to. I said, I have a lot of friends, I said earlier, that feel they're losers. That's to me is a mental issue. Okay. And I try to motivate them to say, you're only a loser if you believe you're a loser. So get some goals in your life, some positive goals. So I think the biggest problem right now is with our youth. I see
Mhm.
major problems. I'm not saying they're not adults that have problems, but our young people are struggling. And I
Yeah.
believe it's a lot because of COVID. They just couldn't handle it at all. So,
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
pray a lot for them. Let's put it that way,
Yes.
and try to help the ones that come to me.
Yes, with your mentorship. Absolutely. As a global visionary goodwill ambassador and chaplain, what does leadership look like in terms of, global uncertainty?
Well, I think if I think when as a leader, I try to lead, but I also try to teach others how to lead. This is what I like to do. I don't want to tell people what they should do. I try to be a role model for them, but I never ever tell somebody you should do this unless they ask me, what should I do? Well, this is what I would do, but you have to find your own role. So as a leader and a humanitarian, I want them to look inside themselves, figure out what they really want to do, and then if they don't have ways to do that, then I might suggest some things, but they still have to find it themselves. It's all about you, you know what you want, you know who you are. And I tell them
Mhm.
also, don't let other people influence you and tell you that things are impossible because I'm a two-time miracle. I should not be walking. I was told I'd never walk again. I should not have survived that car accident. I had 8 months of physical therapy and 18 days in the hospital and ICU, but I'm here. So I
You're
believe
here.
in miracles. So I tell them that, your life can also be a miracle. Maybe it's not great now, but you can make it a miracle. You can do whatever you want. So that's the way I lead. And then I tell them, you find your way to lead your community the way you want to, or lead your family, or whatever you want to do. Because I'm all about teaching leadership, not so much telling everybody what to do.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Now, you alluded to Kenya, just a few minutes ago. Can we talk about your Kenya connection?
Oh yeah, well, okay. I have been in, like I said, 63 countries. 8 of them were African. 5 of them I went on game drives. South Africa, Swaziland, or it's called Eswatini now, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Kenya. Okay, so I was in Kenya in 2011 and went on a game drive, and I thought this is amazing. My first one really was in South Africa in 2000, but I got the passion for African animal to see the animals in the wild and know that every 15 minutes an African elephant dies, is being slaughtered or put by poachers. I just couldn't handle that because I'm a huge animal lover. Okay. So um, when I came home, I thought, I have to find some way to help save these animals. So I did some YouTube videos because I have a YouTube channel, and I raised some money. And I was also an African nomads conservation regional director in the United States for a group there. It's since has disbanded because the founder had a life-changing, life-threatening illness and couldn't keep it going. But I decided when I did my second novel, Wondering No More, that I would set it in the Masai Mara because I had been there and I fell in love with the Masai Mara in Kenya. So when I had an opportunity to go back with Loney, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, Leaders of All Nations International. It's a UK organization that's in 187 countries. I really need to get you connected with that. You would love it.
Okay.
I can see you with it. But anyway, so we were going to go there in July, and I thought, I want to launch my book there. So I launched that book plus the Hoppy the Misfit Bunny because I published both of them last summer. And I took them there. I didn't get to go to the Masai Mara. We had a problem with that. But I launched them in this amazing park area in outside of Nairobi. And then I got to take all four of my books and donate them to the Nairobi National Library. I now
Wow.
have my books in 6 countries, including Alexandria, Egypt, which is the oldest library in the world. So this is another one of my goals is I'm going to donate my books to as many libraries internationally as I can, because a lot of people can't afford to read books, but I want them to be able to read mine. And if they can go to the library and pick it up and read it, this is my goal. I don't, I mean, I would love to become rich as an author, but that's probably not likely. But my legacy is leaving my books. And so Kenya was amazing. I also got a couple awards there with my new husband, who, by the way, is from Pakistan. His name
Oh,
is
lovely.
Shadri Masood Mahmood Bali. We've been married almost 2 years now. God sent me love again. What a lucky lady I'm in. I've had true love twice in my life. So he went with me and helped me with this. In fact, we have our companies together. He is here in the United States. We're waiting for his green card to be approved, and then we're going to start with our new life. So, but he was there with me and experienced all this, and it was just an amazing experience. I love Africa. If you ask me if my favorite continent in the world, it'd have to be Africa.
Mm.
I just the African people are so amazing. So many of them have so little, and yet they still smile. We could learn a lot from them, you know?
Learn so much. Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's my Kenya connection. And I just finished an article that I'm going to put in another magazine recently talking about that Kenya experience. So it was amazing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, this is our closing question, and I'm so amazed by your incredible accomplishments and just, your story of your testimony of strength, having overcome that car accident. It's really quite an amazing story. So I'm in awe. But here's a question for you as we close. If your life were a message to the world, what do you hope people carry forward from your journey?
Okay. Well, I'm a poet, as you know. Okay. So I have this poem called Look Inside Yourself. Now, this could apply to both men and women because I'm not going to, be prejudiced or biased. So I'm not going to read the whole poem because it's pretty lengthy, but I'm going to read you some key lines from this. And this is kind of like my message. And again, how I look at myself when I get little, disillusioned by something. This is my remotivates me. It's called Look Inside Yourself. Look inside yourself to find out what you can see. Do you honestly see what you want to be? Everything in this world is open to you. You just must be willing to take a risk or two. It may not be easy to do this at the start. It will require hard work and passion from your heart. You must strive to climb to the top of your life tower. The climb may be slower than you hope or desire, but when you reach the top, your heart will feel the fire. So always move forward and never look back. Doing this will keep you progressing on the perfect track.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Really, really lovely. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you, learning about your life accomplishments. Dr. Randi, thank you for reminding us that purpose has no borders, service has no expiration date, and our dreams are never meant to stay small. So thank you for dreaming bigger, for lifting others as you rise, and for showing us what it truly means to live a life of meaning, service, and unwavering purpose.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here. I work really hard all the day. I go to bed tired, but I also go to bed very fulfilled and feeling very blessed. And thank you for this blessing today of being on your show, Nikki. I love it. And we do need to connect more. I see this with us.
I see it too. It's just the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
To our viewers, may today's conversation inspire you to step boldly into your calling, trust the journey, and remember there's no limit to it. So I'm Dr. Nikki Clarke, and this has been the Nikki Clarke Show. Until next time, keep rising, keep serving, and keep dreaming bigger. God bless you. Bye for now.